Yeah, Malcolm Gladwell was one that said, what, 10,000 hours to get, can you imagine the hours just to get to the point that they could do that? And then untold rehearsal time just on that, but just remarkable. Jamon, I mean, that's great, man. I mean, I appreciate you sharing it. Isabella, how about you? She looks like she's shocked. Looks like she's about to fall on the floor.
I thought it was really good. I'm not super musical, so anytime I can like see people being able to like play instruments, I mean, they're like professional, so it's amazing to me because I can't, all I can play is a recorder. So
Well, that's good too. Hey, and the thing is, right? So y'all are going to be, if you're in the financial services industry, y'all, that can get kind of hectic at times. Can you imagine when the market's down like it was last year, 20%? You know, at times I think it ended down what, 16% on the year. And you're going to get calls from people, you know, hey, I'm just calling about my accounts. What's going on? I mean, yeah, it can kind of get a little bit hectic. So you need to find your theme song. You need to find some music to kind of relax to unwind to just let you know that, hey, I need to take a deep breath. I need to, you know, exhale a little bit, get my moxie back. So this is why we listen to music. It's just, it's so relaxing. It's so inspiring. It's invigorating. It's all kind of things. Shannon, what'd you think about that? Shannon, she had to love that, right?
It's a catchy tune. They were feet tech.
Yeah, I'd say catchy tune. All right. Good. All right. So we had Martin Luther King Jr. Day yesterday. We had the parade that we went to with our family. And it was really, really good to see so many people out for the parade. And I want to talk to you a little bit about the market because I think it's a great time for us to talk about it. The market, ladies and gentlemen, is the great equalizer. This is the great equalizer class. The great equalizer. Little Bobby, when he was in kindergarten, was a little fat fella. I was a fat fella and still am kind of to this day for most of my life. And so kids made fun of me when I was, you know, as kids do, they make fun of little fat kids. And the kindergarten teacher would do these things where she'd ask us, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, what's your favorite color? All these questions. And so she asked me my questions and she sent them home with my mama. And I was so happy for my mama to see my answers. And so I got there and mama said, oh, I didn't know, little Bobby, you want to be a fireman when you grow up. That's so good. Oh, your favorite color is purple. I didn't know that, little Bobby. And the next thing you know, my mama just burst into tears. And I didn't know what was going on. And I said, Mama, what's wrong? And the question was to little Bobby, what do you think of yourself? And my response was, I don't remember the question and I don't remember giving the response, but my mother read my answer. And the answer that I gave was, what do you think of yourself? And my answer was a big fat 0. And my mama just broke down. And I thought, oh my gosh, what is wrong with this woman? She says, you think you're a big fat 0, little Bobby? And so I think she overcompensated to make sure in my life that I would gain a certain amount of confidence and not be defined by, you know, my appearance or by my size. And so she did everything possible to pour love and inspiration and encouragement into her child. And I am forever grateful for my mother doing that. She's wonderful to this day and still believes in her son. The issue is that many of you in your life have probably faced some sort of obstacle as well. It may be that you were tall, short, or someone considered you to be too thin or too fat or too tall, or you had big feet, or maybe you had a big nose, or maybe you had a big ears, or maybe you were gorgeous and they treated you differently than everyone else, or maybe you were just dog crap ugly and people treated you different, right? Or you may have been treated differently because you weren't as smart, considered to be as smart as some other people, or maybe you were treated differently because people thought you were smarter than other people, and they gave you grief about that. Maybe you weren't athletic, and maybe they made fun of you when you were playing dodgeball. Oh, I don't want them on my team. They'll be the first one out, so there's all these things. Maybe it was because of your sexual orientation. Maybe it was because of your eye color. Maybe it was because of your skin color. Maybe it was because of your hair color. I mean, you think about all of the different things that people can be discriminated against in our society. And we say that our society, we should, love everyone. And that's kind of where I come from is, Jesus said, hey, the Bible is two things, right? It's two major points in the Bible. And one of them, he said, hey, love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. And if you kind of get those two things, all the other things kind of fall into place. And we will bicker and fight about this and that. And whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent, or you're in a blue state or a green state or a red state or a purple state. And there's just so much division in our world. And so when you, ladies and gentlemen, heard my theme song, Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer, many of you thought that I was a womanizer and that my wife and I, we must have all kind of problems. And I go, no, y'all are missing the point. I mean, I was freaked out by like, y'all, God, what y'all might think about me. I don't care what you think about me, but I was at the same time, I'm like, oh, they're getting the wrong thing. No, the thing is that yeah, Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer. Beth, my loving wife of 23 years, dumped me 6 times during our courtship. Now, Beth says that she dumped me because I wouldn't marry her. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't marry you because you wanted to get married in August. And I told you that fat men don't do anything in August. We stay inside in the air conditioner. I ain't getting married and putting a tuxedo on in August. And I joked with her that it seemed like all the 6 times that she broke up with me was right after Christmas and right before New Year. I said, you were wanting that present, and once you got the present, you cut me back. And I always seem to get back with Beth before Valentine's Day. I never have understood that. I was even bringing that up to her last night. She said, will you shut up? We've been married for 23 years. I said, fine. So it's not that, hey, I just, that song speaks to me, not because, the woman's coming back to the dreamer, but I am a dreamer. So I kind of do dream that in a class like this, that all 50 of you, or however many are in this class, 49 of you in this class, will want to excel. I think that all 49 of you will want to do great things with your life. I think that all 49 of you are kind and great people, and that you're considerate to one another. So those are the kind of ideals that I have in my life. And at the same time, it's just not true. Because we drew the bell curve last time, right? We drew the bell curve, and we basically said that, 68% of you fall into the middle, and 16% of you are over here, and 16% of you fall over here. And it's with anything. So the dreamer in me wants to think that all of you are going to excel, that all of you are here, that all of you are going to make A's, that all of you are going to be wonderful financial planners, that you're going to be successful in your careers. This is where I believe that you ought to be. Truth is, 68% of you are going to be here, and 16% of you are just going to be dang at the bottom of anything. But I think that, and I really do think that I can push you. I think that I can push you. I think that I can push some of you over here. I really do. So that maybe our bell curve looks, different. I think that. And the markets, the financial markets, are the great equalizer of all times. Guess what? I've put in several trades today in the S&P 500. Do you know not one time when I was pressing the button to place an order, did they ask me how much I weighed? Not one time did they ask me how old I was. Well, when I signed up for the account, I guess I had to tell them I was at least 18 to have an account. Not once did they say, Bobby, are you straight? Are you gay? What are you? Are you married? Are you single? Are you short? Are you tall? Are you slender? Are you black? Are you white? Are you Asian? Are you South American? Are you African? Are you North American? Not one time did anybody care about who I was or what I did. All they wanted to know, did I have enough money in my account? They didn't say, are you rich or poor? They just wanted to know if I had enough collateral in my account to execute the trade that I made today. So the market doesn't care if you're poor. It doesn't care if you're rich. It doesn't care if you have 9 toes or if you have 10 toes. I've got 9, by the way. The only problem with having 9 toes is I swim in circles. I can't swim in a straight line. It's terrible. So it's all of these things that the market doesn't care. It's the great equalizer. It's beautiful. It doesn't care your race, your orientation, your religion, your lack of religion. It doesn't care about anything. It is the great equalizer. And I can sit behind here with my multiple screens and my multiple trading accounts and trade all day and invest all day and just have the best little time. It is the great equalizer. So it's a wonderful thing for those of you who are here and in this class that may have felt discriminated against or may have felt that there were obstacles that have been placed before you in the workforce or in school or at church or in some social organization or a fraternity or a sorority, and you go, they didn't accept me. Guess what? The market will accept you as you are. And for those of you who are considering careers in financial services, now, I can't help you with what other people on the outside, your clients and your prospective clients and customers, I can't help you with that. But what I can help you with is in the management of your own money. I can help you with that to find peace, prosperity within the financial markets. And this is the ideal place for someone who has felt discriminated against or felt that there was someone that was trying to hold you down or to hold you back. The market is the great equalizer. But there's one unfortunate thing about the market. The market is there. What is the purpose of the financial markets, ladies and gentlemen? Does anyone know what the purpose of financial markets are? Anybody? Jawan, after hearing your wonderful song, surely you can give me something. What do you think financial markets are there?
Yeah, I think that the purpose of financial markets is to create funding opportunities for not only businesses, but then also allows individuals to be able to partake in the betterment of society, whether that's through, equity, whether that's through debt instruments, and so forth.
Jawan, I love your answer. I will say this caveat, though. You're giving me a textbook answer. You're giving me the teacher's pet answer. Let's go to Katie. Katie's got a designation by her name, CRPC. Tell everybody, Katie, what's wrong? Don't be scared. What's CRPC stand for?
That's the retirement planning counselor.
Oh,
I
look
got that
at
on
that.
maternity leave last year.
Oh my gosh, you had a baby and also got a CRPC. How about that?
Yeah.
Which was harder? The baby or giving birth to the baby or getting a CRPC? That's what I want to know.
The baby.
The baby was harder, right?
Yeah.
Katie, where are you at, by the way? Where are you?
In my office in Coleman,
Oh, in Coleman. Okay, Coleman. Okay. Good.
Alabama. Yeah.
So, Katie, what you should know, what do you think the purposes of financial markets are? Jawan
Raise
gave me a
money.
text
Yeah,
what?
raise money for companies.
to raise money for companies. Okay. I'm going to give you a back of the envelope definition for the purpose of markets, okay? And maybe it's not the purpose, but it is what happens in the market. The market is there to be a great equalizer, right? And it is there, and trust me, I know this from firsthand experience. The market is there to take your money. Ask little old Bobby, the big fat zero from kindergarten, how I know that the market is there to take your money. Because over my lifetime, it has taken a lot of mine. It has taken a lot of mine. And it doesn't care if I'm fat or thin, short or tall, 9 toes or 10 toes. The purpose of the market is to take your money, and it will. If you are in the financial markets, trust me, the market is there. It's the great equalizer, and it doesn't discriminate against you. And the purpose is to take your money. It wants to take your money, and it will eat you up if you let it. So how do you get an edge? How do you get an edge in a market that is there to just suck up your money without giving it back to you? And y'all, I'm going to tell you this, there's a lot of people that invest in the market that are dumb as rocks, because what do? They put in their money when do the bulls rush in and start buying the market? Think about it. When does everybody and their mama start going, huh, I better get in that stock market? Yeah, Katie, I see you
You're
raising
doing it at the top.
They're doing it at the top. They're doing it when everything's expensive. They're like, hey, they're cattle, and they're following everybody else, right? When you start hearing your uncle, at the Thanksgiving table talking about how much he made in the stock market, everybody else starts going, oh man, I guess I got to get in. And they get in at the top, and then what happens? There's a correction. Charles, you did the little dive down. Now, listen to Mr. Joe Q. Public that got in at the top. Then we have a year like 2022, and the market's down 20% at one point during the year. Now, what does Joe Q. Public do?
He begs for his money back and cries.
He's going to sell it off and lose it.
He's going to sell it off, take the loss, and lose it. He calls Katie and says, Katie, you're supposed to be a CRPC giving me retirement advice. You got me in at the top, and hell, now I lost 20%. Give me my money back. And Katie, all of a sudden, she looks at herself and she says, now, what was that Jawan song he had today? And she starts firing that puppy up. She don't answer her phones anymore because she's too busy listening to that song. Do y'all see how people do? Isabel, you look like a stylish person. Can I say that? You're a stylish person. Isabel, what is your favorite store or department store? Where do you like to stop? I like to shop. Now, I don't want to brag, y'all, okay, but I'm a little bit on the ritzy side. I eat at the most posh dining establishments in the world. Everybody see this? Little place called, I know a lot of y'all probably can't go there because it's so posh, but it's called Waffle House. Mm-hmm. I got the bacon and eggs. That was so good today. So Isabel, where do you like to go shopping?
Well, right now I like to shop at North Face because I work there and it's cold here in Alaska. So I need all the gear I can get.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you like to go when they say, hey, we just bumped our prices up 10%. Yay, let's go in and buy some North Face.
No.
When do you want to go to North Face?
When they have all the discounts.
When they have all the discounts. But Joe Q. Public is dumb as a rock when it comes to the market. He wants to get in the market when the market is up, and he wants to get out when the market goes on sale. I hope Charles isn't in trouble. Look at that dude. He's like, yo, Charles, get over here, man. What's the problem? Everybody say that? Oh man, that dude looks ominous almost, doesn't he? He's like, who the hell's that talking? Anyway, so yeah. So when things go on sale, that's when we should be buying. When things are expensive, that's when you should be selling. So why Do you think people are just the opposite when it comes to financial markets? Nick, why is this?
Emotional buying.
Emotional? Yeah, they let emotions get the best of them. Charles, are you okay? You're not crying, are you? Who was that dude, man? He scared me.
They tried to send me to a meeting, but I told them I was on lunch, so we're good.
Yeah, say, look, dude, I got stuff to do. We're in class for the love of God. We're listening to classical music, man. Yeah, dude. Jeez. All right. So emotions come in. Don't emotions come in? Oh my goodness. What are the two biggest emotions when it comes to financial markets? Anybody know? Katie, I bet you know.
Fear.
Angry.
Fear and greed. And I'm going to add another one. You ready for this? I'm going to add one of the worst of all, envy. Fear, greed, envy are the three emotions that come in. So Joe Q Public buys at the top. Why does he buy at the top? Which one of these?
Great.
Greed. He sees everybody else getting rich. He sees the Dow up, 300 points today. He's like, man, I got to get in that. Great. Why does he sell at the bottom?
He panics out of fear, so he's trying to get some liquidity back.
Exactly. He panics out of fear. Fear and greed. Fear and greed. Now, how does envy play a role? Anybody know how envy plays a role? Have you ever been envious of anybody? Have you ever said, Katie's got her CRPC and I don't have squat? Right? And you say, man, if I could only be Katie. Katie's got it made. She's already got her job. She's got her designation. She got her baby. She got all this stuff going on in her life. I wish I was Katie. People are very envious of one another. Fear, greed, and envy are three humongous things, right? So let's say that you see someone on television or you see a documentary about someone that made gazillions of dollars because they were early in Bitcoin. And you're like, man, why didn't I get into Bitcoin? And so all of a sudden you start thinking, man, I'm going to get into Bitcoin, right? And you do it because of envy. If you'll look at any financial videos on YouTube, or you look at any Saturday 3 o'clock in the morning show, on TV, infomercial, what imagery do people use to sell financial services and products? Tell me what they show. What's in the commercials? What do they want you to see? Shannon, you got this one.
Opulence. They see all of the material items that they could be having.
If I can just get my photograph with me with 18 rings and 20 gold chains, with surrounded by supermodels in front of a Learjet with a Ferrari or a Lamborghini out front, in front of my palatial mansion, then I can sell you pretty much anything. Why? Because number one, you want to have the greed gets a hold of you, as well as envy, because you're sitting there thinking, oh, if old Bobby is surrounded by supermodels and he's got all the gold and he's got the Learjet and he's got the helicopter and the Lamborghini and the Ferrari, then we can, be like him or be like that person on YouTube or at 3 o'clock in the morning. These are the three different emotions that you guys have to overcome. Okay, Beth, bye-bye. So how do you overcome them in the market? How do you overcome them? Why is Joe Q Public fearful about the markets? What does he understand about financial markets? What does he understand about the stock market? Katie, you're shaking your head. What do they know?
Only what they've been told.
Only what they've been told. And who have they been told by? Who
Yes.
tells them things?
The wrong people.
The wrong people. Where do you learn this stuff? You don't learn this at school. Did you learn this in economics class? Did you learn anything about financial markets? Did you learn how to invest? Did you learn how to create wealth? in high school, taught by a high school teacher who maybe had one class of economics themselves, who can't even balance a checkbook, who is up to their necks in debt themselves, and they're teaching you about financial markets and they're not even in them themselves? Did you learn anything? No. We've got a learning problem. We've got an education problem. We've got a problem in this country. People don't know this crap. And that's why when you leave this class, you will. That's why when you leave this class, listen to me, y'all. When you leave this class, you will. You will. So the fear comes as a result of lack of knowledge, right? What does the greed come from? Where does greed come from? Why are people greedy? Isabel, were you blowing your nose or were you laughing?
I'm just coughing,
Are you
sorry.
okay? Do y'all
Yeah.
have allergies and things bloom up in Alaska too? Is that?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, just check.
yeah.
I was worried. I thought she might be crying or something.
No.
So Isabel, why you got the thing? Why are people greedy?
I guess just like keeping up with the Joneses, they just want to have what other people have. Maybe they're just not happy with what they've currently got.
So y'all have most of y'all read my bio in our syllabus? Have y'all read my bio? We grew up dirt poor, right? Had my mama not worked a second job, we wouldn't have had food at night. I mean, literally. And my daddy was off, gallivanting and, seeing other women and doing things. And, he would leave mama for a while and he'd come back and whatever. I mean, it's kind of horrible, right? And so he's got a wife and 2 kids at home and he's out gallivanting around, and my mama is coming home greasy from a car factory, and then she takes a bath and shower, and then she goes and works at a restaurant as a server. So my sister has something that I don't have. I don't have a lot of envy, right? I don't envy other people. She kind of did. So she would see other kids at school that had all the nice clothes and all the nice jeans, back in the day. So back when we were in high school, Guess jeans were the thing to have, boy. You had to wear Guess jeans or you were the stuff. Now, I wore sportabouts from Walmart, cheap, $8 pair of jeans from Walmart. And I may have had 2 pair to get me through a whole week at school. So my sister, though, had 1 pair of Guess jeans, and then the rest of hers were probably Walmart jeans as well. Do you know what my sister did every night when she came home? She cut the Guess logo off the back of her Guess jeans and sewed it onto the Walmart jeans so that every day she was going to school in Guess jeans. Why? She didn't want people, she was worried about what people thought of her. She was envious of the people that had Guess jeans, and she wanted everybody to think, oh, well, Christy's got plenty of money too. She's got all the Guess jeans too, And then they probably looked at their brother and said, well, why does he dress like a hobo every time when he comes to school? So these 3 things are the 3 emotions that you got to deal with. These are also the 3 emotions that you're going to have to deal with your clients as well, right? Because they're fearful. How are you going to deal with their fears? How are you going to deal with their greed? How are you going to deal with their envy? Because here's what they're going to tell you, Katie, and Katie, you've probably heard this. Well, let me tell you, Agnes, my friend Agnes that lives next door, her financial planner, blah, 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 blah. Have you ever heard that, Katie? Her financial planner, well, they're getting such and such % return. How come you're only getting me this? People are envious of each other. They talk to each other. They get greedy and they get fearful. You have to put together a plan that will deal with all 3 of these emotions. Anything else? Y'all got any questions about the 3 emotions that really get us in trouble with the financial markets? Any other comments on that at all? Nick, how you doing? How you doing, Nick? Okay, Nick's doing good. All right. Can I give you the secret to wealth? Who wants the secret to wealth? Anybody? Okay, Isabel wants it and Charles wants it. Okay, Isabella wants it as well. I'm going to give you a secret to wealth, and I'm not just talking about money wealth. I'm talking about wealth in your life. You ready? I'm gonna give you 4 little things if you'll do that you're gonna be okay. Now, this is at a minimum. This is at a minimum. The secret to wealth. Secret to wealth. Here we go. Y'all jot these down. You ready? Well, first of all, you need to have some source of income. We're going to assume that you've got some sort of income, and whatever you get in income, this is what you're going to do with your income at a minimum. All right. At a minimum, you're going to save 10%. Now, what is this 10% for? Isabella, I hadn't come to you in a while. What's the 10% for? What's the 10% for that you're going to save? Why would you want to save money?
Probably retirement.
Maybe, but I'm talking maybe more on short-term things. What else would happen short-term that you might need?
Probably like rent or a mortgage or food, utilities, that kind of thing.
Kind of like an emergency fund, right? You
Yeah.
save up for an emergency fund and say something goes wrong. Yeah. How about this? Let's say you're saving up for a down payment on a house, right? Save at least 10%. Y'all, that's at a minimum. So if you get $1, let's see if we can do math. Who's good at math here? Charles, since you told old boy that you was on your lunch hour a while ago. If you get $1, Charles, how much should you put into savings?
10 cents of every dollar.
Charles, you are a star student. I can tell. I'm watching you, Charles. I got my eye on you. Got my own. 10 cents of every dollar y'all save. Now, what are you going to do with this money? The money that you're saving. Anybody?
Put it where you can access it if you need it, but it's out of sight, out of mind until then.
Exactly. Right. So you want to save it for somewhere safe, but you want liquidity. So you would not put, I'm going to put 10% of my money into a rental house. No, because if you have to sell the rental house, it's going to take a while, especially maybe in today's climate, right, with rising interest rates. So you want to put that, savings account under your mattress. We'll talk about ways that you can get some type of return on that better than a savings account, but you want it to be fairly liquid. You want it to where you can get that really, really quick in case it's an emergency. You're saving up for a down payment. The second thing that you want to do, here's the second secret, is you want to invest at least 10%. Now, we're going to pick on Katie because she's got the designation. Katie, what are we going to, did I just write NS? Sorry about that. Spelling's not my thing, y'all.
Honest.
Honest, yeah. So invest. Where are we going to invest our 10%? What are we going to do with our 10%, Katie?
Because I'm going to depend on what your goals are into the market.
Yeah, well, give me some examples. Where would you invest 10%?
Well, with that, of course, I'm going to start with like my IRA
Yeah.
and then go from there into brokerage accounts. But are you talking about specific securities?
No, not specific in security, but your IRA, you can put in stocks, you may do bonds, you could do real estate. I mean, all kind of different places that you can invest 10%, right? Okay. Now let's go back to Charles for the math part of the question, since Charles is our star student with math. Charles, out of $1 that comes in, how much would you invest?
10 cents per dollar.
Charles, you are showing out and showing up, and I like it a lot. Send me an email and you get an extra point today, okay?
All
Hey,
right.
some of y'all didn't send me an email about an extra point. Only one did. Who sent me the email about the extra point? It was Shannon. Yeah, Shannon got her extra point. Did you see it in the grade book? I put it in there. All right, so you got one, Charles. Okay, here we go. So we're going to save 10%. We're going to invest 10%. You ready for this? You're going to live off of 70%. How about that? Now, what I mean, live off of 70%. Nick, what's living off of 70% mean?
Bills, car, home, like the transportation, the shelter, the food, what
exactly.
costs you alive.
Food, clothing, shelter. Food, clothing, shelter, right? Now, here's where most of you are going to have the problem. Because you're going to say, now, wait a minute, Bobby. I can't pay my house payment with 70%. I can't pay my car payment with 70%. I can't pay this payment with 70% and buy food and do everything. What does that tell me that you're doing if you can't live off of 70%?
Living beyond your means.
Who said that?
Me, Isabel. Hodge.
Isabel, there's you an extra point, Isabel. You are living above your means. But Bobby, you don't understand. I only make $7.30 an hour. I understand. You're living above your means. You've got to do something. You got to increase income or you've got to decrease expenses if you can't live off 70. All right. Now let's go to our math expert, Charles, again. Charles, how much of a dollar do you now use to live off of?
70 cents.
Okay, so add these up. 70 plus 10 plus 10 is what, 90?
90.
All right, I'm going to encourage you to do something with number 4. And some of y'all are going to disagree with me on this one, okay? You ready? What are we going to do with the other 10%?
We got to give it away.
Dang right, Charles. Give away 10%. Now that's counterintuitive, isn't it? Isn't that counterintuitive? Give away 10%. Why do you give away 10%? Does anybody know? Why would somebody give away 10%? Katie, you got your arms crossed, do you, or you not?
Not completely.
Katie, I thought you might be mad at me for saying give away 10%. She's
No,
like,
no, I normally, I mean, I'm here in like Bible Belt, so the first 10%, number 1 would be giveaway, you know, tithe. And all my clients are like, I tithe. I'm like, I get it. But you're giving it away because most of the time when you put that money out to the community, it's going to multiply more than anything else.
yeah, you know, it's
Charity,
an,
tithe, whatever.
yeah, it's an amazing thing, isn't it? It's an amazing thing when you start giving away money and investing in other people. What does that do for you? Yeah, it lifts you up. It encourages you. It all of a sudden you're not a drag on society. What are you? You are a contributor to your community and society. So some of this, yeah, like you said, Katie, we're in the Bible Belt, right? And those of you who, you know, go to church, we hear it time and time again, give away, you know, give 10 back to the Lord through your tithes and offering. Exactly. That's what you do. You give it away. And you know, I would say give it to your church, and your church should be contributing through the community, right? Through things that they're doing in the community. If religion or church is not your thing and that's not what you do, you know, charitable organizations. Well, you say, Bobby, I can't give away 10%. So probably if you can't give away 10%, which one of these numbers do you have a problem with?
The number 3.
Number 3, because you can't live off your 70. Because you could give away 10% if you could just live off your 70. Bobby, my 70 is not enough. What must you do? Shannon, what must you do if your 70 is not enough?
You either need to decrease what you're spending or increase what you're making.
It's really simple. This is simple. So we got your secrets to wealth, y'all. It's very simple. You're going to save 10%. You're going to invest 10%. You're going to live off of 70. And then you're going to give away 10%. Kind of simple. Anyone got any comments, questions, disagreements? Are you sitting there saying, Bobby, you fat black glass wearing 9-toed bastard, you? This is not right. I mean, what would you say?
The only thing that I would differ with is for those who are like in a relationship, possibly trying to structure that to where maybe even living off of just one income.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, hopefully that's not beyond 70% total, but then if you can scale it back, but we structured ourselves that way just because I used to be in pharma. And so I could have showed up any day and had a job pulled out from under me. And so it's very much look at one and go from there.
Yeah. So what Katie brings up a good point. Remember when I said save 10%? That's a minimum, right? That's a minimum, y'all. You got to save for those purchases, because here's the thing. And we'll talk about debt and things of that nature at some point. We don't have enough time today, but you're going into debt and paying interest on car loans is one of the dumbest things on the planet. Right? So save at least 10%, invest at least 10%, give away at least 10%. And then if you can live off 40 or 50%, even better, right? Because then you can save 15%, you can save 20%, maybe you can invest 20%, and you can get to your financial goals much, much sooner. This is at a minimum. I'm giving you the minimum: save, invest, and give away. That's at a minimum. And if you can get away with living off 40 or 50%, and you got a spouse that is, bringing in an income as well, if y'all can do that. Now, here's the problem. You won't be able to do this if you're going to keep up with your neighbor. Because you watch your neighbor, the flashy mom in the yoga pants that shows up to everything, and she's got the poofy little dog, the little poodle, that's always got a little bow on its hair. Oh, yeah. Some of y'all want to keep up with her, don't you? And she just got her new Mercedes Benz. And so you're so worried about keeping up with her. Well, what will people think if I drive a 2011 Nissan Rogue with chicken nugget crumbs and French fries in the bottom of the floorboard? Huh? What will people think about me? You gotta not worry about what other people think about you. And can I say this as a man who is, I know y'all probably think I'm in my 30s. I know y'all won't. Y'all probably think that. I'm 52 years old. And y'all, I don't give a rat's butt, for the most part, what people think about me. I really don't. And the older that I get, and some of you will bear this out, some of you now that are in your 30s or 40s, and compared to when you're 20s, the older you get, the less you care about what other people think about you. It's an amazing, liberating thing. When you get to the point you go, I don't care. This is me. You either like me or you don't like me. And that is just so liberating. So I dare you to quit keeping up with the Joneses. I dare you to say, envy be gone. I'm done with envy. I'm not going to have it anymore, and I'm getting rid of it. This is your secret to wealth. This is your secret to wealth. All right? So, some of you got the new car fever. Some of you is going, I want to go sign up for the new car. They'll finance it over 6 years. I don't have to put a dime down. And I'm telling you, you're dooming your financial future. Don't do it. Stop it. And the only reason you're doing it is to impress. This is what my sister did, right? She was spending money. I think Dave Ramsey said this, right? You spend money that you don't have to buy things that you don't need to impress people that you don't even like. You don't even like that woman in the yoga pants, in the 4-inch heels with the poofy poodle with the bow on it. You don't even like her. Why do you want to try to keep up with her? Why do you care what she thinks about you? Or why do you care about the guy that's, he's got all the gold chains and all the stuff, and he's standing in front of the Ferrari and he's doing all this? Why do you care? We're talking about you. And the great thing is, when I executed my trades today in the market, I went to Mr. Market boldly, and I executed several trades today. And you know what? Not one time did Mr. Market say, well, Bobby, what are you driving? Bobby, what kind of clothes do you have on today? Did you get those clothes from Walmart? Did you get them from Goodwill? Or did you get them from Neiman Marcus? Market doesn't care. Market doesn't care. It's the great equalizer. So Shannon, Isabel, Charles, Katie, Isabella, Nick, and the only reason I'm calling on y'all, we got several other people in here. Y'all are the videos that I can see, right? So I pick on y'all more than the others. Don't compare yourselves to each other. We don't care if Isabel's got more or less than Charles. We don't care if Katie's got more or less than Isabella, or Nick has more or less than Shannon. In my eyes, as your professor in this course, You are all equal until proven different. I don't care if you've got 8 toes or 10 toes. I don't care. I don't care what color you are. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how dumb you think you are. I don't care. You know what I'm judging you on? I'm judging you on your effort. I'm judging you on your passion. I want to see I want to see when he shares that song and he talks about, you know, he's a ballet dancer and he shares that passionate song. And that just tells me a wealth of information about him, right? That's what I care about. Coming to this class with the passion to create wealth. Ladies and gentlemen, by the time you exit this class, you will have all the information that you need to create wealth. Are you excited about that?
Yes.
Yeah, and you should be. You have all the information in the world. If you'll take some of this and apply it to your life, you're going to be right. So if your spouse or significant other is having the new car fever right now, and you got to have a new truck, brand new truck, and he or she is wanting to go out and sign a note for that truck, stop him or her dead in their tracks and says, not us, not us. We're going to drive something a little older and a little cheaper. Question. All right. So your assignment this week is to watch the Buffett video, do a discussion on Buffett, and then you have to read the first 4 or 5 chapters of the J.L. Collins book. Some of you are uncomfortable because I'm not posting the entire semester. Please don't worry. Don't worry. I will not give you more than you can do in a single week. And if you sit there and go, who is it? Juan was saying that he's got to go on. Juan, where are you going? Is he still here? Where'd he go? Anyway, he's got to go somewhere for a week. That's fine. All you got to do is send me a message. And what do you say? Isabel, what do you got to ask me to get extra time on something?
Can I have some grace?
And what does Bobby do?
He gives grace.
He gives grace. There's one time that I won't give grace. It's at the end of the class when I've got to turn grades in, and I will say, you've got to have everything done by then. And I have no way. I mean, I've got to turn it in. That's when grace ends. So to whom much is given, much is required, though. And I do expect a lot from you. So don't just say that you're going to read these FU money. That's exactly what it is, Kaylin. Exactly. And that's one of your chapters in the book that you're reading. Why is it important to have FU money? Katie says we can call that run money, right? It's kind of a more pleasant way of saying it. But yeah, you get the point. So if you'll kind of do and listen to what we're going to do in this class, you guys are going to be fine. And guess what? Your clients are going to be fine. Because I hate to tell you this, in a class of 49 people going into the financial planning arena, guess how many of you in this class might be financial planners out of 49? Yeah, I'd say Katie's probably right. 5 or less. Huh. Oh, not me, Bobby. I'm going to be one. No, you won't. Katie, you know I'm telling the truth, right? Okay. Any questions at all? Any comments?
I think I saw that you're in Bowden, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know where Bowden, Georgia is?
I do.
How do you know where Bowden, Georgia is?
I used to call on the nurse practitioner there, and I've got a good friend from Buckhannon.
Oh my gosh, I got to go into Haralson County tonight. We got a basketball game over there. How about that? Small world, right? Yeah, that's cool.
Talk about a small world. I got an email through my work email from a Jesse Orr, I think it was. He saw your video and he also lives here in Alaska, and he didn't know that anyone else in Alaska was following you on YouTube.
Oh, how cool. Yeah, I've got a YouTube channel if y'all want to go to it. It's Sweet Bobby. And you're welcome to look there. I trade every day. You're welcome to join me trading every day. I trade live every day. One other thing, how would you like to hear from a billionaire in this class? Would that be cool if you could get to talk to a billionaire or a guy, I won't say he's a billionaire. I'll say he has created $2 billion companies. How about that? Right? Depending on what he sold one last year for $1 billion. He sold his first company for $750 million. Tom Sosnoff, the creator of Thinkorswim that you downloaded, he sold that to TD Ameritrade. He also created Tasty Works and Tasty Trade. He sold those for $1 billion just last year. He will be our guest speaker on March the 2nd. And so you will have access to a gentleman who has created $2 billion businesses. And he's a great guy, and you'll love him. So I would say, if you can at all possible, it's going to be March 2nd at 1 Central Time, 30 minutes earlier than our normal class. If you can please be here live, that would be great. I want as many people here as possible. You get 5 extra points per every family member or friend that you bring in as well. So you just got to tell me that they're here. We want to get a big crowd for Tom, okay? He's a great guy. I mean, you can ask him questions. I'll do a Q&A with him. If you have questions about business, but it's going to be about taking risk. He's going to talk to you about taking risk in a an environment where where people are scared, where they're fearful. So we'll be talking about risk. We'll be talking about wealth creation. You can ask him about his businesses, all kinds of things. It's going to be great. Any questions about Mr. Sosnoff? Tom Sosnoff? All right, great session, y'all. I will see y'all Thursday.